A big hello to our Carnival Cruise Line team. We are making an announcement today about our fleet, and I wanted you to hear directly from me about what all of this means to our company. First, some good news. The shipyard in Finland has confirmed a delivery date for our second Excel class ship that, as you know, will be a sister to Mardi Gras, who is coming in February of 2021 to Port Canaveral for her first cruise. The second Excel ship will be delivered in November of 2022, and as previously announced, will be home ported in Miami. We'll be announcing the ship's name in the coming weeks and plan to open her up for sale in late September or by the middle of October. In the meantime, like we did for Mardi Gras, we are giving guests the opportunity to pre-register to be among the first to book when we open her up for sale. Now, we've all been working hard to keep our guests and trade partners engaged with us during this extended pause, and we believe the announcements we are making today will give our guests and consumers greater confidence and reassurance about our deployment plans for the future. So, in addition, we are confirming our plans to complete Carnival Radiance's dry dock and transformation. Our finance and new build teams have been working with the European shipyards to provide attractive financing options for us so that we can complete this project, which has been on hold since March. As you know, this project of turning Carnival Victory into Radiance requires a significant investment. So the ability to secure this special financing gives us the opportunity to complete the work and to deliver Radiance next spring, 2021, where we are announcing today that she will make her home in Long Beach, California. From there, she'll be operating short itineraries to Mexico. Now, as we take on our new Excel class ships and this additional capacity, we will be taking 4 Fantasy class ships out of our deployment immediately. Carnival Fantasy and Carnival Inspiration have been sold. And while there were rumors about Carnival Fantasy, we were just not in a position to announce any definitive plans before now. In addition, Carnival Fascination and Carnival Imagination are going into a longer-term layup. These reductions in the fleet are consistent with the announcement that Carnival Corporation has recently made about reducing the company-wide fleet by 13 ships. While Carnival Imagination and Inspiration are 2 of our newer Fantasy class ships, neither of these ships have balconies, and Carnival Fascination required a dry dock at the end of 2020. So we made the decision that these ships would be taken out of our deployment that we are announcing. As we've said before, our startup will be phased in. And when we resume, we will have fewer ships than before. But when the second Excel ship is delivered in 22, we will make up almost all of the cabin capacity that we had previously. Remember, these Excel ships are 2.5 times the size of a Fantasy class ship. So when we get back to full service, we will still be serving more guests than we did in 2019. As part of this announcement, we will be moving Carnival Sensation from Miami to a new home in Mobile, Alabama. And Carnival Sunrise will move from Port Everglades to Miami and backfill Sensation on shorter itineraries, which will provide a newer ship with more features for our short cruises from Miami, which, as you know, are always in high demand and very popular. And then, of course, Carnival Radiance will provide an enhanced offering for the short itineraries on the West Coast, alongside Carnival Panorama, who will continue to operate 7-day itineraries to Mexico. Now, while it is certainly hard to say goodbye to a part of our company's history with the retirement and departure of these ships from our Fantasy class fleet, let's not forget the literally millions of guests who have had amazing vacations on these ships for nearly 30 years. Many of our onboard team members started their career on these fantasy class ships, and we know that many of our guests actually prefer these smaller ships. And so we are committed to the remaining fantasy class ships in the fleet, and we will continue to invest in them. We've already made significant enhancements to Carnival Paradise and Carnival Elation, who just completed phase 2 of her transformation at the Grand Bahama Shipyard in March. Now, we know that the extended pause in cruise operations, along with this announcement about the reduction in the number of ships we will be operating in the near term, may create an additional level of uncertainty for everyone. We are in the process of assessing how these decisions impact shipboard and shoreside jobs going forward. As always, we are working through the implications and will approach and implement any decisions in a thoughtful, respectful, and transparent way. In the meantime, we have made the difficult decision to put a temporary hold on all future assignments, with the exception of the small number of crew rotations needed to support minimum non-operational manning of the ships during the pause in operations. It is important to say that team members currently assigned to one of the 4 ships leaving the fleet does not predict your future status with the company. Remember, we have a certain level of turnover every year that we must backfill. So we are committed to preserving as many jobs as possible for our Carnival employees when we resume sailing again. Our primary focus these past few months has been on handling the significant number of cruises that we've had to cancel, along with managing the safe repatriation of our crew. More than 26,000 of our colleagues were able to go home to their families over the past 90 days. And while we're down to the last several hundred crew waiting to get home, as soon as travel and border restrictions are lifted, we have plans in place for them to get home as well. So today we turn our focus to the future. The announcement we are making solidify our fleet and deployment plans and provide a roadmap for all to see how Carnival Cruise Line plans to return to growth, innovation, and success. As America's cruise line, we will continue our strong presence in U.S. home ports, and we will now offer guests an upgraded fleet with our most popular features that we know they love. With our future fleet plan resolved, we will now turn our attention to ensuring we are ready to resume operations once it is determined that the time is right to resume cruising in the United States. Now, I wish more than anything that I could tell you when that will be. As you've likely seen, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control extended its no-sail order until September 30th. Now, that is consistent with our recent pause announcement, so no additional changes for us at this time. We will continue to work with the CDC and other regulators on our operational plans, which will be submitted and require approval by the CDC for U.S. operations. The company has been working with regulators, scientific experts, and industry officials from around the world to begin building a robust set of protocols to protect the health and safety of our guests, the communities we visit, and of course, our employees, both shipboard and shoreside. To that end, Carnival Corporation is sponsoring a virtual conference on July 28th in connection with the World Travel and Tourism Council, with executives from all parts of the travel industry coming together, along with tourism ministers from around the globe. Arnold Donald will moderate a panel of world-renowned experts in medicine, public health, and epidemiology to discuss the impact of the virus on the future of travel. We'll be sending out a link to the event for those able and interested in participating. We are also excited that our sister line, AIDA, will begin sailing out of Germany next month. We will be watching their operations closely as their new protocols and procedures offer us a preview of the changes we will have to be prepared to implement. And finally, a very special thank you to the small number of our colleagues who will remain on board during this pause. Your continued work to support our commitments to compliance, health, safety, and environmental protection, especially during this pause, is so important. All of us appreciate your efforts and professionalism. I can only imagine how lonely it is being on our ships without guests, and I think about you every day. Please continue to stay informed by reading, listening, and watching for the information we share. We're trying to communicate as frequently as possible to give you updates and to let you know what's happening. But most importantly, please continue to stay safe, whether you're on land or at sea. And know that we can't wait to welcome you back to our office, but especially to our ships. I remain so immensely proud of our great Carnival Cruise Line team. And don't forget, as we've been saying since this all began, we are Carnival and we will be back. Thank you all from the bottom of my heart. A big hello to our Carnival Cruise